It's too dumb.
Ava, we don't need more dinosaurs and any more Star Wars or any more wars, really. There's an audience out there for the films you'll make. And we just got to let people know that that audience is there and value them, you know? This is so wonderful, this whole gathering of women. It's just, it's very inspiring. But I mean, you really have to admit that if they had this great big meeting once a year, and they called it Men in Hollywood, and they had 17% women there who felt besieged and awkward. And they gave a lot of awards to the men of Hollywood. We would be pissed, right? Oh, wait, they have those meetings. Every day, in every city, in every country of the world. So never mind. I can't do stand-up shit. My friend Carey Mulligan is my friend, but she's a teeny bit of a mystery to me, which is the way I like my actors, because the less I know, the easier it is to imprint a new character on a familiar face each time out. And I first saw her, like most people, in an education. She was playing a 16-year-old. And not only was I was really certain that she was 16 because she was so sort of giggly and annoying and pretentious and show-offy and a really bad smoker. All behaviors I'm familiar with as a mother. But I was also amazed that they'd found a 16-year-old who could convey at the same time the woman that she was going to mature into. You could sort of see the 38-year-old in this 16-year-old. I thought that was astonishing. And I found out that Carey was only 22 when she managed that sort of brilliant double helix of a performance. And then I saw her on stage in The Seagull. And she played Nina, a true innocent, an actual virgin, which is hard to play. We've all tried. But there was no, evidence of the sort of sophisticate wannabe in an education. And it was so raw and uncovered and pure. And it just hurt to see her hurt. And then I saw her in Shame, which is Steve McQueen's brilliant movie. And I realized from that she was actually a really special artist. Her sissy was this very needy, manipulative, bratty, broken, completely American little sister to Michael Fassbender's sex addict. And the work was just indelible, and it was unlike any of the girls that she'd done, and it was all her own. And then in our film, in Suffragette, I think sort of her greatest gift is on display, and that is the gift of conveying narrative with just her eyes. Her watchfulness, it becomes like writing. And except for my part, which is very, very talky, there isn't a lot of, the movie isn't really loaded down with words. It's just about events that are bigger than this young woman carry along to the front lines of history, really. And it's deeds, not words. And she transforms before our eyes. She plays this laundress, very poor woman who worked under conditions that we can't imagine. She began work at 7 in this laundry and full-time at 12, fully abused by the guy that ran the place. And she grows into a woman of agency and who felt her own necessity in the world. And she endures beatings, imprisonments, force feedings, and even losing her own child in the fight so that other women didn't lose theirs. And that's what getting the vote meant, that women could have access to their children, because it used to be, not that long ago, that the boys and girls of a marriage belonged to the father. And this beauty, the beauty of her conversion, the quality of her listening is just visceral. And it's a function of her own thinking, assessing, feeling mind that we witness this. She pulls us along. I'm in awe of your talent. I really am. I'm also in awe of your voice, which, like, mine is gone, you know. But yours is it's like warm caramel poured over the English language. It's just unbelievable. Oh, God. And I applaud your taste in material and how you hold out for stuff. Even when you were young and didn't have any money, you just did things that mattered. That means something to me, what you ask of yourself as an artist. And I commend your instinctive reserve in protecting your family, your privacy. I just think that's wisdom in our business. And I wish we all took a lesson from your reticence. And I'm grateful for the loyalty and love you show your friends, my daughters and me. And the wider world as well, through your work for War Child, which steps in and helps kids in unimaginable conflict zones around the world. So I can't wait to see what Carey Mulligan will give us next, what new woman she'll give birth to. I mean, in addition to the very beautiful and sweet-smelling Evie Grace, who's 5 weeks old today. So here are some of the wonderful women she's brought to life. And here she is!
Bloody hell. Wow, thank you. I need to acknowledge this as a massive pinch me moment. I think it's safe to say there isn't a woman in here tonight that doesn't hold you in the absolute highest esteem, and I'm lucky enough with Suffragette to be in the very enviable position to call you a colleague, or more accurately, a comrade. And as of course, like everyone else, I'm a fan of your years of incredible work, but I also know you as a mother to my friends. And I can't think of someone I admire more in both capacities. The last couple of weeks has been pretty stressful. Doing press and doing it with a tiny baby. And timing has been very important, and babies do what they want, which is a challenge. But it's really helpful when you have Meryl Streep backstage at events shouting at people on your behalf and telling them to hurry the hell up because we've got a nursing mother here. Let's keep this moving. So that was... thank you so much to Robbie Myers and to ELLE for including me in this room of the most brilliant women. It feels like community, and that's something that's really new in my life. I had a really lucky start in this industry, and the film that started giving me freedom in my choices was An Education. It was directed by a woman, Lone Scherfig, And she imbued the film with all of her wit and and intelligence and sensitivity. It was also the most amazing experience. And since then, I've mostly set out to find the most interesting roles to me, big or small. And on the whole, that's meant playing a really great female role in a story about a man. So working with Sarah Gavron, Abby Morgan, Meryl Streep, Helena Bonham Carter, and Anne-Marie Duff on Suffragette, I found myself in a new position. We were all playing really great female roles in a story about a woman. And more than that, we had the privilege to be the ones to finally tell the story of how women fought for and won their right to vote. It took 100 years to tell the story. The suffragists, the suffragettes, the riots, the rallies, the peaceful campaigns, the militant campaigns, all of them gone untold. A woman threw herself in front of the king's horse in 1913 and changed the course of history. And no one in 100 years felt that this was a story worthy of the big screen. Which made me think, if this monumental moment can go undocumented, untold, imagine how many millions of women's stories there are for us to tell. So with that in mind, when I was getting ready to film Suffragette, I sent this to Meryl when we were getting ready to start shooting the film. I found this incredible speech written by a woman, a suffragette, at a rally. It was a convention for women writers. And it just blew me away with how relevant it felt and how it could have been and should be said today, so I'm going to. She said, "Fellow writers of the League, you have such a field as never writers have known before. You are, in respect of life, described fearlessly from the woman's standpoint. You are in that position for which Chaucer has been so envied by his brother poets when they say he found the English language with a dew upon it. You find woman at the dawn. The great adventure is before her. Your great adventure is to report her worthily, so that her children's children, reading her story, shall be lifted up, proud and full of hope." And yeah, that's what I wanted to end with. Thank you so much.